Okay, let me talk about the Chargers right here. So this past week, the Los Angeles Chargers fell to the New Orleans Saints in overtime, 30-27. I learned a couple of things from this game. I learned in this game that once again, Justin Herbert is an absolute stud as we speak today. I'm not going to sit here and label Justin Herbert the next elite quarterback, the next great quarterback. Not saying he's going to win you a bunch of Super Bowls, Chargers fans, but this guy has some juice to his game. This guy has some special stuff. He's got some special sauce. He's better than I thought he would be. I was not completely sold on that pick when he was, selected out of Oregon, but he checks a lot of boxes. He's got the size. He's got the big-time arm. He throws a very good deep ball, very catchable ball as well. He's got mobility. He's very tough in the pocket. The Saints came after Justin Herbert this past week. He kept getting up time and time again and kept delivering strikes down the field. He checks off a lot of boxes. The Chargers, they've got a very good young quarterback that's, going to get better and better as he continues to start and get more experience in the NFL. I like what I've seen from Justin Herbert. Also, I was not impressed with the Saints. The Saints, to me, are just a team that is not a very complete football team. The defense is not very good. I don't think Drew Brees is a great quarterback anymore. He's still a very good quarterback, but I don't think that Drew Brees has that same, stuff that he had a couple years ago. I do believe that his arm has deteriorated. The Saints defense is just not that good. The Saints, they'll probably make the playoffs, but I don't know if they're much of a threat come playoff time. But let me crucify the Chargers a little bit right here because they deserve to be crucified. They deserve to be talked down upon right now because the Chargers, they had a 20-3 lead in that game. And Michael Bagley blew the Chargers' opportunity to win that football game this past Monday night. I understand there was a lead blown in this game. The Chargers were up 20-3 in this game at one point, but the Saints, they mounted a little comeback. They tied the game, but guess what? Justin Herbert makes an incredible throw to Mike Williams, and Mike Williams does the rest. Mike Williams mosses two defenders, and he puts the Chargers in position to kick a game-winning field goal, and Michael Bagley missed the field goal. Not to mention earlier in the game, he missed an extra point, and that game went to overtime. Michael Bagley is a huge reason why the Chargers lost that game. And as I speak today, I am officially labeling the Los Angeles Chargers the Dallas Cowboys of the West Coast. They are the Dallas Cowboys of the West Coast. The Chargers, they're the Dallas Cowboys of the West Coast. This team continues to disappoint and flame out in the biggest moments consistently, no matter how much talent they have. What can go wrong will go wrong for the Chargers. I'm convinced the Chargers might be cursed as a franchise. Very similar to the Dallas Cowboys because the last 23 years, the Dallas Cowboys have 3 playoff wins in a 23-year stretch. And people keep telling me they're America's team, but I don't see the results. But either way, keep in mind, this is a Chargers franchise that chose Phillip Rivers over Drew Brees. Keep that in mind, people. They chose Phillip Rivers over Drew Brees. And while Phillip Rivers has had a good long career, while he might get some Hall of Fame votes, Phillip Rivers is not one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He's a borderline Hall of Famer right now. He might be a Hall of Famer, might not be. I'll let you guys decide that. But Drew Brees, he's an absolute legend. He's arguably a top 5 quarterback of all time. And Phillip Rivers, we're left with a 5-6 record in the playoffs for his career. A lot of solid seasons, but a lot of shortcomings from Phillip Rivers. He never's gotten over the hump. In fact, in 2018, the Chargers arguably had the best team in all of football, and they got shellacked by the Patriots. And in 2007, Phillip Rivers, unfortunately, in the playoffs versus the Patriots, he had a torn ACL, and he was very hobbled in that game. And if Phillip Rivers were healthy for that game, the Chargers could have beaten the Patriots. That game was very competitive, but unfortunately it did not happen. And not to mention Phillip Rivers, when he was back with the Chargers, he didn't beat Tom Brady once. He's never beaten Tom Brady in his career. That's crazy, people. The Chargers, in my opinion, are just a team that can never get it together. They just historically have always had something off with their team. They just have. And since 2017, the Chargers, are 12-19 in one-score games. What can go wrong will go wrong. The Chargers continue to do Chargers things. They continue to miss field goals. They continue to shoot themselves in the foot, and they continue to blow leads, and they continue to be the Chargers. It never seems like the Chargers can get the right head coach. It always seems like the roster is not quite complete enough. And it even seems like when they get a generational talent in Derwin James, it seems like the guy can't stay healthy. Derwin James has been a very injury-prone player up to this point in his career. He's a very dynamic player when he's on the field. He's one of the best safeties in the entire NFL. You know, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is he's never on the field because he can't stay healthy. I'm officially labeling the Chargers the Dallas Cowboys of the West Coast. I'm convinced there's a black cat running around the Chargers franchise, and unfortunately for Chargers fans, their team just can't seem to get it right. They're the Dallas Cowboys of the West Coast. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God-blessed day, and I'm out.